Well, the future right now is pretty grim.
Little by little, public access just kept getting robbed.
Those channels belong to the public.
Most of the people I run into aren't even aware of this battle that's going on.
The whole thing is terrible, the way it presently is. And I'm afraid to tell you, unless there's an uprising among the people, it's going to stay the way it is now.
Public television serves many purposes in our society. Why then is it being murdered by a cabal of cable and telecom industries, working in collusion with local and state governments? The battleground is focused on the heart of the media capital of Los Angeles, and people from across the nation are coming forward to share their perspective on the fight.
Public access was anybody from the public have access to the airwaves. I truly believe that public access is an electronic soapbox. It is a free expression, First Amendment right, and that the cable company, as an obligation, would provide that channel.
This is the internet in terms of TV. Without this public access to TV, there is no internet for television.
There's no other medium, mainstream medium. If it wasn't for public access, we wouldn't have any outlet.
Here is giving the other side.
Public access stations and channels are going dark across the nation, and the loss is alarming.
Without public access, a lot of things that I've tried to convey to over 300,000 people would have never been able to be done.
Public access really is the only venue for training, for forums on discussion on both sides of an issue that evolve and are not just a 25-second soundbite on the local news at 6 o'clock at night.
It's important for us so that we can have a low-cost channel that exposes our businesses, our community, our nonprofit organizations, all the programs that are run to help kids, seniors, and various other aspects of the community.
That's what local origination of public access offered, where people's opportunity to express themselves without, we have to go to a commercial now, or 2 minutes of something, a minute of commercials, 3 minutes of something. I mean, right now it's just terribly polluted.
From the community's perspective, I think there ought to be some channels that are left available so that the community can get exposure for the things that it's doing.
People would watch it because they want to be informed, they want to be educated, they want to connect themselves to the world they're in. I think there's a crying need out there for real substantive public affairs programming, which unfortunately doesn't exist.
The important thing about public access, I think, is that it's got a whole different feel to it than live TV or things people put on YouTube. It's a combination of everything that you could see on television, and it's real people doing real things.
There's big telecommunications companies that want to take over the bandwidth that public access stations are carried on, because they can take those frequencies and use them to sell high-speed internet, broadband internet, which is a very lucrative business. So now they've gone to a state level, and they've gone to the states and say, well, you don't really need public access. We'll give you a bunch of money. Give us those bandwidths. And that's where the battle is going on now.
I think the sad part about it is that there is money coming in. That money is still being paid to the city, but they're not using it the way we feel it should be used to benefit the entire community.
Some of us, like me, who happen now to be an elected official at this point in my life, strongly believe that that monies should be used for public, government, and educational access, no matter what.
Moving forward, we see that not only is this not an isolated incident, but individuals in other cities and other states are looking to us because this is Los Angeles.
We need public access. Whatever you have to do, do it to make sure that public access is here for the people.
We can, with any kind of support, bring television and open it up to neighborhood councils, homeowner groups, activists of all sorts, the people who are involved in the community, to tell the story that the officials don't want them to know.
I worry that
when we're seeing closures of public access stations, it's really just another effort, especially by local governments, to shut down dissent and criticism of what they're doing and what their activities are.
The public, if they are to vote properly, have to be kept informed. So public access is critical.
Without free speech, we have no hope of having our democracy survive in the long term. And so I think this mission to restore the access to direct access television here in Los Angeles and to assure the freedom of direct access television throughout the United States is the very bedrock and foundation of maintaining our democracy and the freedom of our citizens.
Find out what the purpose of public access is and why it's so important to our communities, our state, and our nation. Next on Full Disclosure.